In 1792, the nascent United States faced a crisis unseen by many. Amidst the chaos of colonial currencies, this young nation urgently needed a symbol of its national credit. This was the birth of the US dollar. Across the North American continent, British pounds, local scrip, and the Spanish silver dollar were all in circulation. Yet, it was the globally trusted, pure silver Spanish dollar that became the blueprint for the new currency. Inside the Assembly Hall, Alexander Hamilton stood firm against fierce debate. He knew unified money was essential for national credibility. He presented a radical proposal to establish the first bank and standardize the dollar. The first bank was chartered in 1791. The following year, the Coinage Act sealed the deal. The dollar was officially born, its weight and purity strictly benchmarked against the Spanish dollar, establishing a core foundation of credit. To balance farmers' desire for silver liquidity and bankers' demand for gold stability, the dollar initially adopted a bimetallic standard. This political tug-of-war reflected the young country's shrewd compromise. As massive silver mines opened in the 19th century West, the gold versus silver debate intensified. When the government abruptly ceased silver coinage in 1873, the infamous Crime of 73, it sparked widespread outrage. By 1879, the U.S. formally embraced the gold standard. With gold as its iron backing, international investors gained confidence. This step was crucial for building the institutional base of the dollar's future global dominance. Looking back at early financial history, the battles over the first and second banks, and President Jackson's war against centralized power, were high-stakes political dramas that deeply forged America's monetary DNA. The Panic of 1907 rocked Wall Street. Banker J.P. Morgan personally intervened to save the markets. This crisis made it clear, relying on private efforts was impossible. The call for a central bank became undeniable. In 1913, the Federal Reserve System was born, standardizing the issuance of notes. This was more than a regulatory change. It was a powerful signal that the dollar now commanded the full nationwide faith of the government. In the depths of the Great Depression, FEDR unleashed radical reforms, prohibiting private gold ownership and revaluing the metal. These steps gave the government vital control, allowing the dollar to show astonishing resilience. Concurrently, the American industrial engine ran at full throttle. Exploding productivity and technological breakthroughs forged an unbreakable economic base, powering the dollar's leap onto the international stage.
In the dark years of the
World War II transformed the U.S. into the world's largest producer and creditor. Global capital and gold flooded in, completing the dollar's shift from a domestic currency to the trusted international benchmark. Post-war, the Marshall Plan channeled dollars into Europe's recovery, deeply binding the global economy to the greenback. Nations' reliance on the dollar for trade made its superpower status an historical inevitability. The 1944 Bretton Woods Conference redefined the world order. Under Harry Dexter White's strategy, the dollar, pegged to gold, became the core of the global monetary system. The dollar was officially crowned king. Every nation was now institutionally compelled to hold dollars for international trade. This systemic demand made the dollar the indispensable currency of global finance, influencing every economic pulse. In the 1970s, the oil crisis erupted, and the petrodollar system emerged. This move firmly locked global energy trade to the dollar, ensuring it remained the core world currency, even after leaving the gold standard. The dollar's rise was not instant. It is an epic series interwoven with policy maneuvers, financial reforms, global conflicts, and high-stakes international negotiations. Every chapter is linked. From Hamilton's foresight and Roosevelt's resolve to White's strategy and Morgan's decisiveness, it was the choices made by these key figures that propelled the dollar to its peak. From chaotic colonial tokens to the unified national currency, and finally to the global cornerstone of Bretton Woods, this clear historical line shows how a nation converted its own credit into the world's belief. Whether it was the pain of financial panics, the reforms of the Great Depression, post-war aid, or the binding power of the petrodollar, each moment was a crucial piece in the dollar's expanding global puzzle. As global trade networks deepened and financial markets matured, the dollar's influence transcended borders. This was not the result of a single factor, but a flood of countless forces converging over history. Finally, let us reflect. Looking across 3 centuries of dramatic change, what is the core logic behind the dollar's ascent? The answer is clear. It is the trinity of institutional wisdom, international trust, and undeniable economic strength. These 3 forces together wove this monetary legend. From a national sovereign currency to the world's reserve currency, the dollar's story confirms this truth. Currency status is never random. It is the ultimate financial projection of a nation's comprehensive power. Thank you for joining us on this extraordinary historical journey. The story of the US dollar continues to be written in every global transaction, and its path of evolution is still unfolding.